Welcome to Travel Sheger channel. Today we will go through a short history of how Addis Ababa, the capital of Ethiopia and seat of African Union, has been founded. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe to our channel.
Addis Ababa is the capital city of Ethiopia and the African Union and is often called the African capital due to its historical, diplomatic, and political significance for the continent. Located in the foothills of the Entoto Mountains and standing at 2,355 meters above sea level, it is the third highest capital in the world. It is located in the geographic center of the country. When the city was at risk due to a shortage of firewood in the early 1900s, an ambitious campaign to plant eucalyptus trees imported from Australia in and around the city essentially secured its lasting location. Today, a greenbelt of forests and semi-subsistence cultivated land surrounds the city. Addis Ababa was the last imperial capital of Ethiopia and serves as the capital of the modern state of Ethiopia. Addis Ababa came into existence in 1886 as a mineral springs resort for Ethiopia's royal family and nobility. In 1892, Emperor Menelik II, who ruled from 1889 to 1913, made it the capital when he constructed his palace there. By 1896, members of the nobility began to build permanent homes in the new capital. Neighborhoods bearing the names of these nobles provided housing for their followers along with districts for the imperial employees. Foreigners, artisans, and merchants also flocked to the city. The city's previously uncertain future was established in 1907 with the granting of land charters and, in 1917 when the railroad arrived from Djibouti. By 1917, Ras Tafari Makanin, the later Haile Selassie who ruled Ethiopia from 1930 up to 1974, had become one of the most powerful people in Addis Ababa. He recognized the future importance of the city and redistributed much of his recently acquired wealth to gain the support of the emerging class of urban Ethiopians. In 1918, a series of popular demonstrations in Addis Ababa catapulted Tafari to the head of a regency council. Addis Ababa experienced an economic boom between 1926 and 1927, fueled by the lucrative processing of coffee and hides just before export. Aided by this new wealth, the bourgeoisie of the city began to construct new, stone houses filled with imported European furniture, and the richest amongst them drove automobiles. At this time, a rudimentary banking system began to develop in the city. In 1930, Tafari was crowned Emperor Haile Selassie in a spectacular week-long celebration. The extravaganza was preceded by a wave of city-wide improvements including street paving, the installation of power lines and telephones, and the erection of several monuments throughout Addis Ababa. However, after a string of defeats by the Italians, who had invaded in 1935, the emperor was forced to leave Addis Ababa and the country in 1936. This triggered a riot in the capital, which was only quelled when the Italians occupied the city days later. Exactly 5 years later, with the assistance of a British army, Addis Ababa was liberated and Selassie re-entered the city. During the next 20 years, Addis Ababa continued to modernize and attract foreign investors, traders, and Ethiopians from the countryside, and it was a center of higher education. However, the slow government response to a famine in 1973 led to first a series of student demonstrations in 1974 in Addis Ababa, and then to a successful coup d'état which disposed Selassie. The military regime, known as the Derg, fell in 1991. Addis Ababa continues to this day as Ethiopia's capital and first city, with a population of 3.3 million in 2008. This historical account is obtained from the book by Bahru Zewde, A History of Modern Ethiopia 1855 to 1991. Let's quickly see other facts about Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. This historically significant city in its enchanting mountain setting is recognized as one of the world's superscript 1's most problematic, yet fascinating and beautiful cities. Its country's border war with Eritrea and unsteady relationship with Somalia have put a heavy burden on Addis Ababa as it has become a center for refugees whom it cannot support. Rapid population growth has created slums. Some areas have 200 people per acre, living in ramshackle attached houses built without regard to sanitation or drainage. In most areas the rich and poor live as neighbors, though many of the wealthiest people live in the southeast and southwest sections of the city. Addis Ababa is an important administrative center not only for Ethiopia, but also for the whole of Africa. The headquarters of the African Union and the United Nations Economic Commission for Africa can both be found in the city. The United States and the European Union both have 2 delegations in Addis Ababa, one for bilateral relations with Ethiopia and one for the African Union. Ethiopia and its capital city have become a source of pride for the Pan-African movement due to its indigenous character and the legacy of the Abyssinian Empire. Have a good day.